so warm.
Oops, sorry. Are you
was
warming
just
You got no idea.
What?
Here we go down
Called
to
me
this
a
block.
wuss.
Frank, nice to meet you.
Thank you guys for coming.
Yeah, are you a Flannery?
I am a Flannery.
Nice.
Yeah. So I'll be giving the tour today. Just pick one of the holes to pull one of the strings through, and then you can tie it around your back.
I usually start the tours on this side of the building because you can kind of see that used to be our front door. And in our infinite wisdom, me and Dad, when we came up here about 12 years, we didn't think we would grow really quickly. So we were just like, that's the front door. We're going to put our production facility right in front of the door. And then as we grew, it's nuts. It's become absolutely nuts. Dad jokes. He calls this the Winchester Mystery Meat House. So I should probably hand out like walkie-talkies in case somebody gets lost. And you'll see as we move around. We're not a massive facility that has one big dry aging room. Because we grew over time, we've got 5 very small dry aging rooms. The cool thing is it really imparts that unique flavor profile having those smaller rooms.
As you've grown like that, it was your grandfather that started it, right? Not you.
He pretty much started us on the butchery and dry aging kind of side of things. And I usually will be upfront with that. We're not raising the animals. We're what's considered a further processor. And so it's in that role of butcher. We source, we age, and we fabricate or cut into steaks. So that's kind of our role in the game. And it's all because of my grandfather. His first job in San Francisco in the 30s was as a butcher.
Okay.
And so my grandfather learned the old European style of butchery, and that's what was passed down to my father and then to me. So it's kind of fun.
Okay, that's great.
All right, so as we keep walking through here, I'll let these guys know. You can, it's fine. Lupita, it's bueno. Sorry, guys. Everybody's come back. No, Lupita, it's okay. It's okay. You can come through. You're good. You're good.
All right, look at this. This is cool.
So this will give you a little bit of a better visual as we keep talking.
Is that mold?
Is that mold? That is a lot of mold.
All right.
So honestly, this is probably my favorite part of the whole business is the dry aging and the mold. How familiar are you guys with dry aging?
He's super familiar as being a chef.
Yeah, no, we've dry aged a lot at different restaurants over the years, so some for like hundreds of days.
Okay, very, very cool. So have you heard of wet aging?
I just age.
There's 2 types of aging, right? And you will kind of hear the terms thrown out. There's wet aging and there's dry aging, all right? If we want to be super geeky, what I would like to change them to is aerobic aging and anaerobic aging, because the difference is oxygen. People hear wet and dry and they think, okay, it's got to be literally wet and dry, where it's not entirely the case. Wet aging, you leave the primal in the cryovac bag. Leave it in a fridge, you're wet aging. Dry aging, you take it out of the bag, put it onto racks, and that's the process of dry aging. But with dry aging, I think there's 2 schools of thought. I think you have people that are pro-mold and people that are anti-mold. Okay, I can't tell you how many times I've had people, because I post online, and I love my fuzzy moldy meat, the comments that I'll get sometimes, you're doing it wrong, that's rotten, that's spoiled, gross, how are you not dead, all of that stuff. And that's fine, sometimes I'll feed the trolls because it's fun. They just don't understand what's going on in the process. The mold brings a totally different flavor profile. Think of cheese. Right? How much you can get different nuanced flavors in different cheeses, all because of the different types of mold. The same happens with dry aging. If you were looking at it from like your most basic level, why do we dry age? It's for flavor. Okay, that's what's happening during the process, and that's mainly happening from 2 things. The first is moisture loss. The easiest way to explain that to anybody who works a lot in the kitchen, when you turn a stock into a demi, you leave a pot on the stove. As moisture evaporates, the flavor gets more and more concentrated. The exact same thing is happening with these pieces of meat. By leaving them in this open air, we're allowing moisture to escape the muscle, and that's concentrating that beefy flavor. If you don't have any mold in your environment, you're only relying on dehydration to get that flavor development, all right? And that's cool, you'll get it. It usually takes about 30 days to start to taste that difference if you're really only relying on the moisture loss to kind of push your flavor forward. If you introduce mold, you can get much deeper flavor profiles at a younger time point.
Why again? Just
Because the mold itself has a flavor.
okay.
And as gnarly as this looks, if we wanted to take a piece off of this, throw it on the grill and eat it, we could. There's nothing food dangerous. I guess the better way to say it is, this is food safe. It just looks gnarly. And a lot of your average consumer isn't necessarily in dry aging rooms looking at this. They always just see the finished steak. You never see the mold on the finished steak. So there is, I understand the gut reaction, like, whoa. I had a USDA inspector come in, right, from the federal government, walk into this room, and I mean, he took a step back, and he said, oh my gosh, this entire room is spoiled, and he starts pulling out his tags, you know, USDA rejected, and he's tagging stuff, you know, this is bad, this is bad, this is bad. I was like, whoa, 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 everybody stop. You know, let's have a big meeting and discuss. So again, I get there is that like weird visceral, it looks gross, but it's all about the flavor.
So those are the oldest ones, though.
No.
No?
I've got older pieces.
No,
I can
like
show you.
in here right now.
I can show you older pieces. This
No,
isn't
but
our
like,
only aging
but
room.
like in here right now.
I've got older pieces. So this right here, you're only looking at 3 weeks age.
Okay.
That is not
But these
a
are
lot.
newer,
Yes.
and then that's going to turn into that.
Yes. Exactly.
And then are you going to cut this all off? Or is that-
Absolutely.
Okay.
So you can see kind of like on this piece right there, that's, you've taken
Yeah,
the
it looks
face off.
amazing.
Exactly. So it's absolutely fine on the interior. And that's why dry aging is kind of like an old world butchery technique. And that's why we've always done dry aging, because when my grandfather started as a butcher, everything was dry aged because there was no refrigeration. So it was a preservation method. Meat itself, the inside of a muscle is sterile, okay? Anything that's gonna make you sick is introduced on the exterior. As long as it's protected during the dry aging process, nothing is going on in that particular muscle that will cause a risk from the food safety side of things. It's all on the exterior.
Is that a good amount of marbling in your opinion? Like, do you
Yes.
look at that? Are you happy?
I think that would probably be almost like one of the most perfect types of marbling. Look at the pattern of marbling. It's very tiny, very small flecks of fat within the muscle. That's what I want. Wagyu, if you can kind of like imagine if you've seen like a Kobe Wagyu steak, is gonna have really large veins of fat running
That
through
looks
it.
delicious.
This is gonna be perfect.
Even
okay?
with the, like,
Because you just want those little tiny small ones. What you get from the marbling, why you want marbling in beef is for two things, flavor and tenderness.
Yeah.
Fat is flavor, right? So we want that. The tenderness is, think of all of that red as lean muscle. Every single pinprick of fat is weakening that muscle. So that's where you get that tenderness from. So yeah, that's, I would say, probably one of the nicest pieces we have in here.
oh, it's nice.
Yeah, you definitely see
That's nice, right? Like, is that a ribeye?
These are both ribeyes. These are both bone-in ribeyes. See that one? I would say that one's better than that one, though.
But this was just a bigger animal?
Yes.
Is this darker because it's a smaller animal, or because of the aging, or just like
coloration?
that?
I know that can throw people for a loop. You would be amazed at how much meat gets thrown away on an annual basis due to coloration issues.
Really?
Your consumer thinks that is good, that is bad. It's not the case. There's this thing in the muscle called myoglobin, and it's all chemistry. And I failed chemistry twice, so I'm not going to
Me
explain
too.
this very well, right? But myoglobin will interact with oxygen, and that's what makes it bright red. If you remove oxygen, it turns into like deoxymyoglobin, and then there's metmyoglobin. There's like this cycle, right? So you will go from reds to kind of purplishes to browns, and it's all just part of this cycle that has nothing to do with the quality. It does have to do with length of age, but it's not quality.
I like that.
From my perspective, we look at marbling. That's what we want. At the end of the day, I'm not focused on the color. I want the marbling. That's what's going to eat the best.
Okay. How much meat's in here? Do you think? Poundage in here.
I know on pieces, I got about 1,600 pieces on racks right now.
Dude, I'm freezing right now, bro.
Yes.
Look how cold Jessica is.
Teamwork.
Jessica's freezing. Did you look cold, dude?
So this
Where's
was
my
the-
jacket?
Sorry. It's good
I got
for you,
such a
right?
nice jacket, like right in my car.
So this is the second aging room that we have, and Dad and I joked, after we built it, we realized it's the worst room to dry age in because the airflow sucks, right? We have the blowers, they kind of just get stuck against the wall there. There's not as much air circulation in here as we wanted, but what we didn't know what was happening in this room, and this is going back to the presence of the mold. This room, because it's our second oldest room, has the second highest microbial load in it. You can't see it in the air right now, but we're surrounded by mold spores. But I know you guys are gonna learn way more science than you ever wanted on this trip. Get ready. You know what I did that was really cool to figure that out though, is I got a bunch of Petri dishes, and I left a Petri dish in each one of our aging rooms for the same period of time, and then I incubated them. And I only left the Petri dishes open for 20 minutes. That was it, so a very short window of time. The only two that started growing mold was this room and that room. And so for me, I'm a visual person. It was just like this light bulb moment where, again, we don't see it, but there's more mold in this room. And so by starting the aging process here, we're inoculating it.
So they start here and go there?
Technically, they start here. This is kind of like our one-off room. We kind of keep like random projects in there.
Okay.
But this is the mother load. All of the mold lives in here. This is the second highest. So this is where we start the product. We open on a weekly basis, and so depending on what day of the week you come to the plant, this room will be super full or super empty. Because these have been in here for a couple days, they're already covered with mold spores. If I move them to a different room, they'll start growing the mold. So we don't keep them here the entire time. We're constantly moving things throughout the facility, but we start it here to, again, inoculate. We're seeding it with the mold, which is kind of fun. See all of the blood on the floor? It's water. It's not actually blood. That's one of the reasons why
That's not
dry
blood?
aging. No, it's just water. It's colored red because of our buddy myoglobin. It's not blood though, it's water. Muscles are 85% water by volume.
Really?
Exactly. It's an enzyme in the water, myoglobin, that gives it that red color.
So that's not blood.
Not blood. It's fun, right? I know, there's a lie. People get confused on that one. Not blood, not blood, it's water.
Looks like blood.
It's colored. It's colored like what? You're gonna like fact check me, aren't
No.
you? You're gonna go home and Google. But what's interesting is that's just kind of like weight that has left the muscle that we essentially paid for. Okay, so when you're dry aging, the reason dry age steak is expensive is because you lose so much weight. I know, we'll keep moving, we'll keep moving. This is another hole in the door.
Oh, it's warmer in here.
Little bit.
Not really.
I know, it's gonna stay cold though. You know how I was talking about wet aging?
Yeah.
This is considered wet aging.
In the plastic.
In the plastic bag. When it comes to beef, there's this concept of aging, and you always want some level of age for that tenderization effect.
So why are these in the bag?
That's how they come to us in the bag,
Oh.
and we...
So you're going to take these out of the bag?
Yes.
Oh.
But we structure it on specific days of the week is when we do our opening. So this is the wet aging side.
Are you here 40 hours a week or more?
More, but that's okay. This is my baby.
Ah!
I know. And now we're back here. So we can all take a little bit of the breather.
Nice. No, it's great. Yeah.
My hands always get so cold. So just another room, another hole that we cut in the wall.
Get in there. Get in.
So
Back
this
to
is
the
more, I know, sorry. Get ready, guys.
Great for a reason.
I left my jacket just sitting in my car.
So this is more boxed beef, and then we're gonna go through here. So that long room that we were in, product will stay there after we open it for about 5 days or so, and then we move it over here. It's kind of fun. Each room almost has like a different smell to it, a different feel. What's nice about this room is that we don't need the airflow as much in here because we've already inoculated the product. You can see right here, the mold's starting to grow. So it's already taken hold, so we can kind of get our racks cheek to jowl and it'll do its thing. How much different does this room smell than that room? It's very different. This is older product. So as you take things farther out in the aging process, you'll get different flavor notes. And again, it's all gonna come back to the mold present and how much moisture you have allowed to evaporate from within the muscle.
Is this almost done?
This is everything in this room is gonna go a little bit older, so he's probably got 2 more weeks in here.
And then is this older?
Yeah.
That's why it gets like that? Because that's like end stage?
Yeah. So about 2 years ago, I decided to get our mold genetically sequenced. So I cultured little labs, little petri dishes of the mold, and I sent it out to a lab to identify the exact species of mold that we have growing here. And I remember I was like, all right, clearly I have 2 species here because there's no way that that mold is the same as this mold, right? Exact same species. It's dying. Isn't that crazy?
Why? Did you do something for it to die, or does
No,
it die naturally?
it has consumed all of the available nutrients on the surface of that meat. There's no more food for that mold.
No, that's how you know when it's done?
And so that's how we know it's older, because the mold is dying. So you can almost if you look at it enough, you can see it happening here, right?
Yeah.
It's starting to die around the edges there. So for us, because we're doing this so much, we can almost gauge the age of a piece just by looking at it.
All right, let's get out of here.
I know, you guys are shivering.
Eugene, I hear Eugene's teeth chattering behind me.
Okay. We won't stay in this room. If you want, we can come back, but we'll just kind of cycle through.
These guys are too cold. They can't deal. This film crew. I hear their teeth chattering.
Here, come through. We'll just sit in this corridor for a second.
Eugene, we're like the people from when you're in the snow and you're filming.
We can hold up for a second.
Amber's
right?
not cold at all. Amber's fine. These two are just a mess.
And then,
I am now curious to try the moldy beef.
Like raw?
Kinda. Not sure what you said.
you can. You absolutely
No,
can.
no, not
I mean,
right now,
I've
but
done.
in general.
I will right now.
We had one USD inspector who was actually he was a champ. I had a grill, and I was like, you want to try it? Absolutely. And so we did just that, took a piece of the mold, threw it on the grill, and he tried it. I was surprised. Mold inherently is not dangerous to you. When mold gets stressed out, it produces this thing called mycotoxins, and it's a chemical hazard. No, the mycotoxins will make you sick. In a cold environment, there is no research to date of any mold growing in that cold of a room that is capable of producing mycotoxins. So that's what makes it safe, is all about the temperature controls. As long as you
How cold's
keep
that
it,
room?
we keep them usually 38, but the magic number is 44.6.
Yeah.
Okay.
As long as you keep, and that's
But
honestly
you keep it. That was colder than 44.6.
Yeah, 38 is where, I don't have my phone on me. All of the coolers have little probes in them that are linked to my phone, so that if something, goes haywire, I get alerted, which is good. You need that.
You have a generator, right?
Not yet.
Well, does the power ever go out? Like, what happens?
What was that, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, the fires? You keep the doors closed and you pray to God that it'll come back in 3 days. All right, how are we feeling? Warm?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we're
Ready
good.
to go?
We going back
All right.
in there or this way?
No, so now we're gonna go into the fabrication side of things. Fabrication is just basically the cutting, right? So this is where all of the butchery happens in this room here. I'm gonna try to find a hanger steak because that's a cut that we can talk about a little bit more in depth. So give me 1 second. I'm gonna find show and tell.
I'm going back in the warm room while she's gone.
So warm.
Oops, sorry. Are you
I was
warming
just-
up? Yes,
I got no idea. What?
Here we go down.
Called
to
me
this
a
block.
wuss. I thought that was me being smart.
Okay, so this is hanger steak, all right? And so this is how it comes to us. This is what you guys use for your steak frites on the menu. This is one of my favorite cuts, hands down.
That's blood, right?
It's not. That is water, but the myoglobin is turning it red, so we think it's blood, but it's not. And so what we do is we seam it out. There is a massive seam of connective tissue, super, super ugly. What you do is you kind of clean up some of this like fascia, just gnarly gunk.
Do you do this before you ship it? Or
Yes. Oh God,
Yeah,
yeah.
this is what
Yes.
they do when
if
it
this
first
showed
gets
up
there.
at your door.
Yeah, the amount of hanger we go through, we would not have time to do all these
So you guys
things.
clean it all before you start aging it.
So these guys are not aged. We do not dry age this cut, and that's because there's no protective covering on it, right? Like this is all meat that is
When you
viable,
say
right?
protective covering, do you mean fat?
Fat or bone.
Okay.
Fat or bone. I have dry aged hangers and I'll do them for our retail customers, kind of, you know, why not? It's slightly gimmicky. You do get very good flavor. You get phenomenal texture, but your price point goes through the roof
Okay.
because I am trimming all of it down. So it's one of those things where it's like with dry aging, you can dry age anything. You just have to ask yourself, should I dry age this? So see this right here? That's the separation of the two muscles. The cool thing about this is it doesn't go right through. And so it's not, you don't take your knife and cut down the middle because you might miss it and you want to save as much meat as possible, right? I only want to take out this connective tissue here. If you start kind of the tear on it, this one actually looks like it might work for me. You literally just pull it in half. Right, so
There
there's
you
no.
rock that.
I mean, sometimes it,
But
like
yeah,
it
you
gets really
crushed that
bad
one. That was great.
because then you basically are looking at your two lobes of meat here, and you can clean them up much faster. Right now, you're simply taking this out, and so that's pretty much like all that's involved in cleaning a hanger is making sure. Oh, I just did a bad one on that. You're getting rid of that connective tissue there because that's chew. If you leave that in, and you'll see it if you see a butcher or like at a butcher counter, you see the hanger in two pieces there, don't get it unless you feel like you're up to taking out this at home, because Dad'll say if you leave this in here, you'll start chewing on Monday and finish on Friday. It is that heavy duty. But this one, for a long time, the hanger steak was called the butcher's cut. Another name that these are called is the hanging tenderloin, which just tells you how tender the cut is, right? This is probably one of the most tender cuts on the entire animal. And so again, all you're doing is really just kind of cleaning up any of the exterior here. So that's the hanger steak. That's one of the cuts that you guys move. What other cut specific things do you want to talk about? Put it through. It's going to taste more dry aged because the ratio
Are you guys
of aged
okay?
to unaged. Yeah.
You guys-
This is where the show is now. Okay? It's coming here. I feel like I've been my age.
Put your hood on. Put your hood on.
You know, I had it on, but then I was looking through the window at the ladies, and I think
No, you're fine. You're fine.
He's not well. You're not okay.
But no, I can wrap up. That's pretty much. I mean, because again, I did joke that Dad talks all day. I can talk all day.
We're
too.
done. No, we're done. They're done. That was great.
No
Thank you.
warm room. What? No, you didn't listen to me about pathogenic bacterial growth. Warm is bad. This is how we keep everything safe, is under refrigeration.
How the partnership between Left Bank and Flannery started? Was it like Left Bank or chef sourcing Flannery?
It was Ed.
So Ed, what?
When I started, Alistair started sending me a bunch of emails with different suppliers, and I started reaching out and contacting. And originally, I think I sent an email to you, and then it ended up getting in touch with Chef's Warehouse. They got in touch with me, and then kind of went from there.
I mean, we partner with Chef's Warehouse because Dad and I joke we are really good at beef. We're not great at logistics. So Chef's Warehouse helps us because you guys have all the multiple locations. Yeah. I only have one driver, and one truck. So to make sure that you get what you need on time works for Chef's Warehouse. Should we take a video of you dropping a steak?
Well, I was thinking when
yeah.
you were cutting, I was like, God, if she cut my finger off right now, we could go viral with that.
Oh my God. I want a picture of this.
Can I have you get in there?
Yeah, we'll hold them together.
That's it.